In this short video, you're going to learn how to accept recommendations and start students' playlists on TenMarks. What teachers like to do is to not only view the individual student results from assessments on TenMarks, because these are reported immediately as soon as students have done those, but we also surface up a set of playlist recommendations which can be turned into personal assignments. You can accept playlist recommendations either all at once for your whole class or for individual students as they complete them. Let's go ahead and take a look at exactly how we do that. So I'm logging in to my TenMarks account. That's step number 1. Step number 2 would be to go to TenMarks Math and then to click on the Assessments button in your top black bar. So right in the middle you should see Assessments. Now we're going to be looking for a specific assessment that has recently been completed by our students. And one of the handy ways to do that, if you have more than one, is that we have a number of sortable criteria. In this case, I am looking at the due date sort, which shows me my most recent January 2015 assessment at the top. But what I might want to do is click on recommendations, and that's going to give me a list of those assessments that have recommendations pending, or I can look at the ones that have already been accepted or that have no recommendations. So this is a sort, and in this case, this is exactly what I was looking for. So the next step is to click the View Details button, and this is going to show me that for my students in this class, 4 out of the 13 have completed the assessment, and several of the students have recommendations ready to be made. So the View Recommendations button at the top, just under the summary data that shows, for instance, how many students are done, what the average score is, who scored the best, who scored the lowest. I can either view things for the whole class or as individual students. So let's take a look here at my student Raphael. He's done very well. He's scored a 97.2. And for each of the tracks, the system takes a look and sees, based on 2 things, how they just did on the assessment is number 1, and number 2 is what are the Common Core progressions for this particular topic. And since we were looking at the standard for OA1 and he's done well, he's being prompted for playlists that would take him to the next sequenced assignments that would give him more acceleration or challenge. You always have a choice to either add these recommendations to the end of a playlist or to entirely replace the playlist that the student has. In this case, I'm just going to accept the Add to Playlist recommendation. And when I check here, it's going to add these to Raphael's personal playlist. When I click OK, this is all I need to do, and those recommendations, each one of these, for OA2 and for MBT5, for both of those, are now going to be individual playlist personal assignments for Raphael. If I go back, what you'll see is that now this student, Raphael, has got his playlist, but I could have alternatively clicked on View Recommendations, and that will show me all of the recommendations for my whole class that has completed this work. And I can either add recommendations to playlists or replace all for all of my students in this case. So if I wanted to add all of the practice recommendations and add those to the bottom of the playlist, all I have to do is simply click here and click OK. And now all of these students have had the recommendations accepted. The last thing that I may want to do is actually take a look at my class, and let me just show you the impact that this has had. So for my class, I'm going to actually log in as demo student Raphael, and I'm going to log out and just show you what it looks like for students to receive a personal playlist recommendation. Raphael now has a specific set of recommendations that are queued up These do not appear under the From Your Teacher button. The From Your Teacher would be the assignments that are made from the curriculum directly, and those usually connect to new instruction that we're working on every couple of days in class. But this is a list now of 4 assignments that he has, and he can proceed through those in any order, and he will receive assignments that work very, very similarly to the whole class assignments, but these are all based on the results of the assessment and the recommendations that we just accepted. It's never been so easy to start individual student playlists on TenMarks. TenMarks, Teachers Amplified.